Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. First of all, I thank you for your precious time on my presentation because it's in the middle of lunchtime, So 30 minutes after this, we'll be making you hungry. But stay hungry is not a bad thing, right? And that will make you stay foolish as well. And I think that is also helpful to my presentation also. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the how we are going to make this online game service, MapleStory, into a whole new level of IP community service with the help of blockchain technology. Uh, Let me introduce myself to you first. I'm Sunyoung Hwang, the executive producer of MapleStory Universe project, and it's been kicked off back in 2022 April. So it's been a one and a half year so far. Before this project, I worked in one of the biggest online company in the world, Nexon. At that time, I led the whole live operation team for PC MMORPG, which is also one of the successful online game in the world as a game director. And also, I had the chance to be in more couple of famous IPs, such as Mabinogi and Sudden Attack, as a game producer at that time also. So these are the topics I'm going to cover with today, according to the subject. So let's go into the first chapter, MapleStory as a community service. This is MapleStory, how MapleStory looks, and hope you guys are familiar with it. I know Singapore is one of the countries where MapleStory had a great success as an online game. Hope you guys familiar with that. It is launched back in 2003, and it made a great success right after its launch. It succeeded in growing up the market size, gaming market size, by flowing in a massive amount of casual player into the game market. Actually, it made a big hit out of its 2D-based, cute pixel-based graphics and simple game system and interface with actual casual gameplay as well. So, as you can see, there are 5 monsters out of the game. The third one, in the middle, pink one, Mr. Pink Bean, is one of my favorite. And actually, I see him here in the screen on the outside the building on the way to the hotel in taxi the day before yesterday when I just got here. So it was really glad to see them here. So there are also astonishing figures around the game. We've been in service more than 20 years so far, and we made a 180 million the user base wise, and we made over 4 billion USD as a revenue wise. And after its launch, it keeps its growth every year. So it's always better than last year. And of course, this summer, it still kept its growth as well. On the other hand, as an online game developer myself, I think online game is not a game product, but a game service, which needs a continuous development of following updates and big events and so on. Also, a live team has to look into the service figure to adapt the issue arising from the service, such as fixing bugs and server patching and adjusting the game balance inside, and so on. So that is what we call live operation, as you all guys know. These days, almost every online game company utilize this live operation strategy, even with their single package game as well, such as DLCs and so on. But as a successful provider of 20 years of service, the live team, MapleStory live team, wanted to go further beyond the game service to make a much more sustainable service than ever before. So we extended the existing boundary of the game service, game experience, to a whole new level of an IP experiences with various participants of community. So now we're making and providing extended IP-related, IP-related activities of our own outside the game in on and offline places, such as a big fan festival and a musical concert with professional orchestra with, of MapleStory OST and big showcase of dev team's own. All of these activities completes the whole new level of IP experiences for a much wider range of participants of community. And that is why we see it as a IP community service. In doing so, we also noticed that we're not the only one who creates these kind of activities for community. Community itself also creates their own IP-related activities for themselves. For example, there are fan artists who creates fan illustration, cartoons, and IP-related goods, and so on. There are also influencers who create a video clip about the MapleStory game. And there are also creators who create a companion app for games, and also even create a whole new another play out of the MapleStory IP. And so like this, there are various of creators and community activities out of all the community. And at first, MapleStory might start as a single online game, but now it has evolved as a whole all-around IP community service now. And the sustainable growth and the success of the service comes out of this power of the community. So let's look into the power of community. What are they? We should understand the potential power of community to do this. So we have to think about their nature first. First, they're self-sustainable. They are created voluntarily. And second, it's creativity. They are so creative that sometimes we, the live team, cannot react to them properly, even when it's necessary. So there is always uncertainty in providing a community service for the various participants of community. Such as, let's say there is an influencer who creates a very helpful video that helps a newcomer on board to the community very easily. And we want them go further, and even we want to cheer them up. Because they have definitely a positive influence to the IP reinforcement and expansion, and also to the community. But the other case, let's say there is an illustrator, fan artist, who creates an illustration which includes some violent expression in sexual way, and even exceed the age restriction of the game, where MapleStories are all okay for all age, by the way. This is really bad, actually. Definitely has a negative influences to the IP and the quality of game service. That's the uncertainty of the power of community as well. So we need some methodology to interact with them. We have to give a positive influence and react to a positive activity, and we have to give a negative one to the negative activity. But for now, there's no official, appropriate, and sustainable option for us to take at the moment. So for the positive feedback, only thing we can do is we're just neglecting them and hoping them going further without any help or support from our ends. And for the negative feedback, we just restricting them from creation on the ground that abusing our IP. That's really sad for all of us. That's why we need a new paradigm for building whole new relationship with creators that we can, all the participants interact with each other, intimate influences, and make the IP reinforced and expanded. That's the starting point of our project, MapleStory Universe, NFT-based universe. We are making MapleStory N, which is the blockchain version of existing PC MMORPG in service right now. And we're going to place two more components for community service base. One is MapleStory World, and the other is MapleStory SDK. And these two will help in building up a new relationship with community with the help of blockchain technology. And we're going to onboard a various type of creators activity from community on chain in our universe as well. And we're making a whole new IP community service where all the participants exchange the positive and negative influences with each other facing for the IP reinforcement and expansion. So how we are going to make this universe work? The answer is we're going to do that by sharing IP control ability with the community. On the screen, you can see the massive amount of item bases which have been created along with the 20 years of service. Millions of trillions of game players have experienced the gameplay, and as a result of that, they obtained many of these items as a reward. In short, they play the game ultimately for obtaining these items. And so these item base is the fundamental force and motivation for gamers to continue their gaming experiences. In other words, most important thing for gamer is the items they earn from the gameplay. If so, these items will also be major goals for community creator as well, because they create activities for gamers and participants of community to enjoy. So it's no surprise that many of the most beloved activities of communities have been those that allow gamers to further utilize and enhance their own items. Ultimately, the foundation of MapleStory Game Service is this vast pool of items on which dedicated player and community have accumulated the value over past 2 decades. So this is the essence and the heart of the MapleStory IP. Therefore, the key factor to make it possible to drive these activities to a specific direction, is the power coming out of this item base, the item assets, that is to say, MapleStory IP assets. And in order to align all the participant vision into one single goal, we're going to share out this IP control power with those who contribute to the IP reinforcement and expansion. So we're going to do 2 things for this. First, we're going to open up the IP assets to community creators. And secondly, we're going to distributing item creating power to the contributors. So firstly, the item assets will be provided in various ways to meet the various needs of community creators through these 2 components that I mentioned earlier, MapleStory World and MapleStory SDK. MapleStory World is Maple IP-based UGC platform, which is in service in Web2 space already, and we are making a blockchain version of it. And the MapleStory SK is for a more professional studio to enable them more creative activities. And this will allow the whole community participant to use freely much more wider variation of item assets ever than before for their own dApp creation process. And number two, we're going to distributing this item creating ability to contributors. Who is the contributors and what is the item creating ability? Contributors mean, as you can see on the screen, participants who create the community activities that contribute to the IP reinforcement and expansion. And we are making a contribution evaluating system that periodically evaluates the level of contribution of that activity and gives them contribution point accordingly. And creators of them will be rewarded item creating ability according to the contribution point. And this is how all the contribution evaluating system works. So now we have contributors, and they have item creating ability. Sorry. So they have earned this contribution point, and they are rewarded item creating ability, just like I said before. And now we have contributors with item creating ability. How do they use that ability? It's really simple. They use it to create a whole new item into the universe. That's it. But as you see on the screen, there are complicated looking components interacting with each other in complicating way. But I only have 30 minutes today, so maybe I'll skip that and let's keep it simple. But just in case, I left a detailed explanation about it on the bottom side of the slide. So, back to the main subject. Contributors use this ability to make a whole new item and put those in their activity as a reward and let those items flow into the MapleStory universe, indirectly actually, through gamers and participants of community. That makes this contributor an official item supplier of the universe. And this item process is one and only item process in the universe. So even the project team, us, will have to, as a service provider of MapleStory N and MapleStory World and so on, we have to earn this ability and the point fairly with the system also. And we have to carry on all the service only with the point and ability, just like any other creators from the community do. Yeah, there goes item flow into the MapleStory universe. So, in the early stage of the service, the contribution of the project team will be the absolute portion. But as more contributors join in and onboard on the universe over time, we expect a diverse item supplier base. And finally, we look forward to the day when we have to step down from being #1 contributors in the universe. Thanks to blockchain technology, that we can come up with this concept, item creating ability, and we can make it a fungible manner so that we can divide it into pieces and share it with others. That will be possible for that technology, by the way. So finally, we can align the creators with the project team's perspective for the IP now. When the contributors own this ability, then they have the perspective of item supplier, which already the project team has originally. So creators, along with the project team as a contributors, share the same perspective as an item supplier in the universe. So the contributors will adjust their activities to maximize item utility as an item supplier. And also, they will execute this ability to maximize the benefit as an item supplier as well. And both two actions will make it possible for item to be much more stronger over time. That means more powerful item becomes, the better it is for gamer. So now, we have creators and gamers and project team. All the participants in the ecosystem will be aligned in one single goal, that is IP reinforcement and expansion. Now, we've reached the final conclusion. So let me wrap up the thought on new generation of IP community service for you. So we were making next generation IP community service out of current online game service. And to do that, we have to understand and take advantage of community power, that is self-sustainability and creativity. And to utilize this power, we are going to share the control power over our IP assets, MapleStory IP, with the help of the blockchain technology. And finally, we will make the self-powered expansion and evolution of the IP ecosystem, that is IP community service. Yeah, we came to this picture again. And this is the last slide of my presentation. This is the future of MapleStory game service, where all the participants exchange intimate influences with each other and headed for the same goal, IP expansion and reinforcement. And this is the future of the IP community service, which grows and expands by its own power, which is self-sustainability and creativity. And that is the vision of my project, MapleStory Universe. Thank you very much for your precious time on my presentation, and hope you guys have a great lunch and also a great time with the rest of the conference, TOKEN2049. Thank you very much.